Tonight, 3 First Nations are teaming up to tackle drugs in their communities. Why Sask health officials feel hantavirus won't be the next pandemic. And are community events concerned about Brant taking over a portion of Real?
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Leaders in northern Saskatchewan are calling for more policing and frontline resources after the recent death of a 21-year-old mother. The alleged killer facing 5 charges, including manslaughter. Stacey Hine has the latest.
The death of a 21-year-old mother has left the community of Turner Lake and neighboring Birch Narrows Dene Nation in mourning. One chief says,
"Please continue to keep this family in our community in your hearts in the days ahead."
RCMP say officers were called to a home in Turner Lake, about 590 kilometers northwest of Saskatoon, after receiving a report of an injured woman. Shalea Mongrand was declared dead at the scene, while one man was arrested outside the home. 25-year-old Darian Mongrand now faces 5 charges, including manslaughter. RCMP says it cannot provide details on the relationship between the accused and the victim. Following the death, Chief Jonathan Sylvester joined the NDP in calling on the provincial government to address what they say are long-standing requests for more policing and frontline resources in northern communities.
We have repeatedly raised concerns about addictions, mental health, and public safety in the north. There have been times when we had extremely limited police presence in our communities.
Northern leaders have also been promised community safety officers and additional supports, and those promises still have not been materialized.
The community safety minister says there is a community safety officer position in the area, but it's currently vacant.
They did have an individual hired, but they became injured, and so now it's a matter of the First Nation finding another candidate.
The minister adds the government is open to exploring additional options.
Our government's very willing to work with the RCMP, Public Safety Canada, and our First Nations partners to see what other opportunities are available.
On social media, Shalea Mongrand's loved ones are remembering her as sweet, charismatic, and having a big heart. As for Darian Mongrand, his next court appearance is scheduled for June 1st in the Losh. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
3 First Nations in Saskatchewan have signed a memorandum of understanding to tackle the drug crisis in their home communities. Sierra de Souza Butts has the details on the agreement and what the next steps will look like.
For the first time, Muscophetung Saulteaux Nation, Pasqua First Nation, and Piapot First Nation have signed a tri-nation agreement.
I think what's going to hold us together is just having the same heart and same vision.
The Memorandum of Understanding focuses on strategies to tackle the drug crisis happening in the 3 communities while holding each nation accountable by working together.
If we were to try and clean up Muscophetung, they would just come from the other neighboring reserves. So we wanted to come together and work together, brainstorm to figure out a way how we can combat the addictions in our community, how we can combat the drugs and the dealers in our community.
We always think long-term safety for our youth, being more proactive with our youth, with drugs, alcohol, violence.
As part of the agreement, a committee will be established with 2 to 3 members from Muscophetung, Pasqua, and Piapot. From there, the group will meet on a regular basis to discuss strategies and report back to all 3 First Nation councils.
One of the areas is making bylaws, hopefully someday that our bylaws will service every nation. So that's in the works. And also, too, we're looking at a police force on the 3 nations.
Adding, plans for a treatment center between all 3 communities will be another area of focus.
There's a lot of problems with the fentanyl crisis and the crystal meth crisis within our nations, and we're close to the city of Regina, so we'd like to address that and make a better life for our youth.
Sierra de Souza Butts, CTV News, Muscophetung Saulteaux Nation.
Yorkton RCMP are searching for 3 men wanted for different crimes. 21-year-old Matthew Gordon is wanted for charges of assault and robbery with a firearm. He's 5'7", about 160 pounds, brown eyes, short black hair, known to travel in the Yorkton area. 23-year-old Colton Soldat is also wanted for robbery with a firearm. He's 5'9", around 180 pounds, with brown eyes, black short hair, and a tattoo behind his right ear that says "Soldier." He is known to travel in the Yorkton area. And they're also looking for 34-year-old Tyler Tuckenow, wanted for flight from a peace officer and dangerous operation of a conveyance. He's 5'11", around 190 pounds, with brown eyes, black short hair, and a mustache. He is known to spend time in Yorkton and Melville. If you know where any of these 3 men are, you are asked to call RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Well, flooding might be preventing wildfires from sparking up in northern and central Saskatchewan, but the dry conditions in the southern part of the province are perfect for grass fires, something the Star Blanket First Nation had to deal with this week. Damian Smith has the latest.
A 100-acre fire that started here on Sunday afternoon at Star Blanket First Nation has damaged in between 500 and 600 acres in the past 48 hours. Local landmarks that have been burned include a community area with a baseball diamond and outdoor hockey rink, and by Tuesday afternoon, 1 barn had been fully consumed. 2 suspects have been identified as potentially starting a fire, according to File Hill's First Nations Police Service, who say the fire is still under investigation.
There are heavy fines that can be placed on people burning materials, or even corporations that are burning materials during fire bans, as well as any time of year. We're looking at laying charges under the Wildfire Act, where the maximum fine per day is up to $500,000 for individuals and up to $1 million for a corporation.
Police say monetary damage is still under investigation, but so far it's estimated at over $10,000. The Reserve has had help from Belcaris and Rural Fire Department, who are wetting down residences with water and removing fuel sources around notable structures. Fire crews are using heavy equipment to create berms or fire breaks to protect surrounding residences. The File Hills First Nations Police Service says that no homes have been damaged as of Tuesday afternoon, and the closest that a fire has come to a residence is 35 feet. Damian Smith, CTV News, Star Blanket, First Nation.
Sabine joins us with our first look at weather, and that fire was actually stopped and then reignited because of those winds. Really blew things around yesterday. Winds are going to be an issue again a little later on this week.
That's right. Actually, starting tomorrow night in the southwest, Lee, we have special weather statements already in effect, which I'll talk more about coming up in your full forecast. Essentially, we're going to start to experience winds gusting or up to about 80 kilometers an hour, and then eventually spreading right across central southern Saskatchewan. Winds with sustained wind speeds at about 70 kilometers an hour, gusting over 110 kilometers an hour. So that's something to keep in mind as we head into tomorrow. Still expecting a very warm day, actually looking like it's going to be the hottest day of the week, warmer than what we got to today. We warmed up to about 23 degrees today. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer than that, and then we'll start to experience a bit of a cool down as the winds pick up and the rain arrives on Thursday, which will also be covering many parts of the province, including the western part where we could see the heaviest. Now, temperature-wise, we're still, like I said, experiencing warmer than seasonal temperatures, but that cool down is around the corner, and I'll have details in your full forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. With a recent outbreak of hantavirus on a cruise ship fresh in the public eye, the Saskatchewan Health Authority is issuing some tips to avoid contracting the virus when you're doing your spring cleaning this year, along with quelling concerns that this would be the start of another outbreak. Jacob Carr explains.
Despite a recent outbreak of hantavirus on a cruise ship now docked at the Canary Islands, medical experts in the province of Saskatchewan say there is little to worry about in the province in terms of an outbreak. The variant of the virus in Canada can only be transmitted from rodents to humans, unlike the rare strain that was found on the ship that can be transmitted from human to human.
As far as the outbreak on the ship is concerned, obviously that was very concerning for the passengers on the ship, but everything is being handled, and the people who needed to come back to Canada are here and are being looked after in their respective provinces.
Instead, the Saskatchewan Health Authority is reminding Saskatchewanians to be wary during the spring and summer seasons when cleaning out enclosed spaces that rodents such as mice like to hide in over the winter.
When you're opening up a cottage or a shed that's been closed over the winter, let it air out for half an hour. Don't sweep up using a broom that generates the dust. Use wet mopping methods.
There is no current vaccine available for the hantavirus, but that doesn't mean researchers like those at the University of Saskatchewan's Vaccine and Infectious Diseases Organization aren't diligently working on creating one.
As a researcher, you want the things you develop to actually make it into humans and have an impact, right? So we're obviously still very early in the stuff that we're working on right now. Other people in different regions globally have been working on vaccines as well for a long time.
Warner says that Vito is currently in the very early stages of vaccine research, with clinical trial testing being done on mice and hamsters to test their immune response. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan NDP continues to make a power play at the legislature. Yesterday, they talked about the cost of refurbishing coal plants. Today, they tackled SaskPower, claiming a leaked document shows rates will increase by 90% by 2040. Wayne Mantika has the details.
The projected rate increase over the next decade and a half will meet SaskPower's rising costs and a shift to new technology like nuclear-generated electricity. The NDP claim it's outlined in a leaked SaskPower document.
Today, another leaked document, this time a briefing note prepared by SaskPower officials that warns that under the Sask Party government's plan, and I quote, the average cost of electricity is projected to be 20% higher by 2030 and 95% higher by 2040 without carbon tax.
The opposition says taxpayers will also pay more because of a plan to refurbish coal-fired power plants.
So, Mr. Speaker, that's a minimum 5% rate increase every year out to 2030 and 7.5% every year out to 2040.
The NDP say refurbishing coal plants will cost $26 billion, but that includes salaries and coal supplies for the next quarter century. The government says the actual capital cost is 1/10 that.
Unlike the members' opposite plan, of which no one has endorsed, in fact, we've had representatives today and yesterday representing over 1,400 SaskPower workers and the procurement industry, Mr. Speaker, that are speaking out loudly against their plan.
The NDP say it would cost less to switch to natural gas, solar and wind generated electricity. The government disagrees, saying it would be twice as expensive. Either way, consumers will pay more. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Staffing shortages and rising call volumes were front and center for a gathering of paramedics in Saskatoon. CTV's Laura Woodward has more on what's driving a high number of job vacancies in EMS.
There's a shortage of paramedics in Saskatchewan.
We have 200 vacancies open in Saskatchewan right now.
The issue took center stage at the annual conference of the Paramedic Services Chiefs of Saskatchewan, held in Saskatoon. The provincial government has introduced bursaries of up to $10,000 to attract students and new graduates to emergency medical services. But recruitment and retention remain a challenge as paramedics leave for jobs in nursing, policing, and firefighting, careers that offer higher average pay.
Nursing, police, and fire are paying a bit more and a better work-life balance, and that's just what we need to advocate for and bring that for paramedics as well.
The staffing crunch comes as demand for ambulances continues to climb.
In the last 10 years, we've seen a 100% increase in call volume across the province.
Paramedics say they're responding to more overdoses and suicide-related emergencies across the province. And with fewer people to cover the workload, crews are getting stretched thin.
Sometimes paramedics are working, 14 to 16 hours in a day. So it takes a toll on the paramedics that we have.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The ink is barely dry on an agreement between the City of Regina and Brand for the sale of some buildings at the Real District. But some local event participants, like next month's Mosaic Festival, are unsure about their future there. Donovan May says more.
Spirit of China has held its Mosaic Festival of Cultures Pavilion at the Queensbury Convention Centre for the past few years.
It's just been a beautiful place to have a pavilion.
But organizers now worry about the venue's availability for the future now that it's been sold.
Everything is all good for this year, but next year, you know, it's a big thing whether it's Mosaic or other events that are happening here.
The Queensbury is one of several buildings recently approved to be sold by the city to Brant. The terms include provisions for Brant to continue some marquee events, but Mosaic is not one of them.
There is still so many unknowns.
Regina City Councillor Shannon Zakiniak hopes the district continues to be the community hub it has been for decades.
It's hugely important that this site is somehow still able to accommodate both, that the community is able to benefit from this site, and that we're attracting much more paid events.
Brant owner Sean Semple assures the community local events like Mosaic will continue to be allowed to use the site.
It means better hospitality, better events, more activities, and more reasons for people to come to the grounds.
And although this year's festival will go unaffected because Brant's takeover won't be complete until the fall, Diverna Chuck-Merck is already making her pitch of the festival's importance for next year.
It's just a very important event, and I'm hoping that in the future they really take that into consideration.
This year's Mosaic Festival is scheduled for the first weekend of June. Diverna Chuck-Merck says planning for next year's festival will begin almost immediately following this year's event, and one of her first calls will be to Real's new owners to ensure her pavilion and others can continue to have a venue here. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
For the 28th year, the Saskatchewan Workers' Compensation Board met with customers and partners to discuss safety. Customer insights and shared solutions was the theme of this year's sold-out event, which also included keynote speakers sharing messages of workplace safety and risk-based decision-making. The WCB says they are available to help not only manage claims, but help prevent claims from happening as well.
An injury doesn't just impact the worker, it impacts the workplace, it impacts families, it impacts communities, and anything we can do to prevent those injuries from happening, and or if an injury happens, how do we really help them rehabilitate and return to work? Those have positive impacts beyond just that injured worker.
The WCB was established in 1911 to provide a no-fault insurance system that provides compensation regardless of who is at fault. Still ahead, how is the Mosaic Company opening the door for Indigenous workers? And why are some Canadians refusing to fill out their census form?
Greetings, everyone. 2025 was a big year in the mining industry in Saskatchewan, with the sector generating over $12.8 billion in mineral sales. Now, as a part of its path towards reconciliation, the Mosaic Company has announced its 2030 Reconciliation Action Plan, aiming to attract more Indigenous peoples to the mining industry here in Saskatchewan. Sierra D'Souza Butts tells us more.
Before joining the mining industry at Mosaic Company, Derek Legendre was a power engineer by trade.
What really got to me was Mosaic and potash, especially, is very stable. You know, people are always going to eat. There's always going to be demand. So it was a good choice for me.
Legendre currently works as a maintenance supervisor supporting the mill services underground. Throughout his 6 years working for Mosaic, he has witnessed the company open up opportunities for Indigenous people, including himself.
One of the things I spoke about in the past was I was not proud to be Indigenous. Right? So working for a Mosaic, and also my own personal, working at Mosaic has allowed me and actually encouraged me to work towards that.
Now, he is hoping he can be part of the reason to attract the next generation of Indigenous youth into the industry, as growing Indigenous representation in the workforce is also part of Mosaic's 2030 Reconciliation Action Plan.
For Mosaic, we looked at reconciliation through the lens of where could we make the biggest impact. And for us, and with our operations in Saskatchewan, where we're mining potash, jobs is a big one, our partnerships, as well as our own workforce culture internally.
Part of Mosaic's action plan for the next 5 years is to expand its entry-level jobs to Indigenous people while also focusing on hiring and procurement. Jones says working underground in the mine is not the only job in the industry.
Of course, we need a lot of great people to work underground or in our mills and our mines, but we also have great jobs in procurement, in health and safety, in HR, in things like what I do, public affairs and government relations. So there's a lot of careers in mining.
Legendre says educating people on the different opportunities there are for youth is the first step towards them pursuing a career in mining, adding he encourages people to give it a shot.
in this case, the Indigenous youth, I feel that they are poised to take the place that their ancestors, that their relatives before them couldn't have.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Sierra D'Souza Buds in Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
A wildfire in Alberta has forced more than 100 people from their homes near the town of Whitecourt. The town's mayor says so far his town is not in any imminent danger.
At this point, there is no risk. They've secured the rear of the fire, the would be the west side of the fire. So there's currently no threat to our community.
Mayor Ray Hilt says they've received about 140 evacuees at a reception center that's been set up in a local recreation center. More fire rescue crews as well as a helicopter have arrived to help fight the fire. Still burning out of control southeast of Whitecourt and remains steady in size, about 50 hectares. Well, today's the day you should be filling out your census form. It helps the government with planning and understanding the makeup of the country. But this year, some are using the survey as a form of protest and refusing to complete it. Heather Wright explains.
During the last census in 2021, roughly 98% of Canadians filled out the survey, a vital tool according to Statistics Canada that helps governments make informed decisions. I do feel betrayed by the government. But some are choosing not to fill out this year's census as a way to protest the Carney government in the series of floor crossings that helped the Liberals secure a majority government last month.
We voted for a minority government. We didn't vote for a majority government. Why can't we have a say?
While Canadians have been asked to fill out the census by today, it's not technically a deadline. If people don't fill it out, they could receive follow-up phone calls or in-person visits until it is completed, which is required by law. Those who refuse could receive a fine of up to $500.
It's a key part of our democracy, but it's also fundamental for the basic services the government provides. You're going to want to know where the population lives if you're going to place a school, a hospital, a fire station, a police station. If you're planning transit routes, you need to know where people live and where they work.
Jeff Balby is the Assistant Chief Statistician for Statistics Canada and says all data collected is de-identified and securely kept within the organization.
We are absolutely required under law to keep all of the data that we collect here at StatCan within the walls of Statistics Canada so we can guarantee the privacy and confidentiality.
Statistics Canada says it is still too early to know how many people have refused the census, but they say according to preliminary numbers, the response rate this year is comparable to in the past. Heather Wright, CTV News, Brampton, Ontario.
Ukraine has started preparations for a military drone deal with Canada. President Volodymyr Zelensky says 20 countries are already working with Ukraine on similar deals. Prime Minister Carney's office said last summer a letter of intent was signed to co-produce defense materials in both countries, but it did not refer specifically to drones. Ukraine has talked about signing export deals with other nations to supply them with advanced drone technology. Any deal could also include drones being built in Canada for Ukraine. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer told his cabinet today he will not resign despite growing calls from within his own party.
Is this the changing Prime Minister?
Cabinet ministers left this morning's meeting at 10 Downing Street without making any comments. Starmer is facing calls to step down following last week's disastrous results for the Labour Party in local elections. He's also facing criticism over the UK's struggling economy. Starmer was elected in 2024 with the UK's next national election still 3 years away. And India's Prime Minister is appealing to citizens to curb fuel consumption amid declining gasoline stocks and a shortage of foreign exchange. One of his solutions? Work from home.
Petrol, diesel ka संयम से
Narendra Modi issued the call to action during a rally. Modi is calling on citizens to save the country's limited foreign exchange used to buy fuel and imported goods by reducing purchases of gas, diesel, fertilizer, and travel. Modi heads to the United Arab Emirates later this week to discuss energy cooperation. Coming up, we'll show you a home in BC that has passerbys turning their heads.
All right, welcome back. We're going to take a look at your forecast for the rest of this week and what's coming up for your May-long weekend. And rain is in that forecast. Let's get straight to it. Today we did see a nice warm up of about 24 degrees in the Queen City. And as that continues, we're going to start to see warmer temperatures heading into tomorrow. Now, currently we're sitting at just over 20 degrees with the winds just under 20 kilometers an hour. They're still gusting up to about 30 kilometers an hour, but much better than what we were seeing in terms of wind gusts today. Much better than what's to come. Now, we are seeing those special weather statements that have been issued for most of central and southern Saskatchewan. Basically, we're going to start to see these winds pick up heading into tomorrow evening, and then by Thursday morning, most of central southern Saskatchewan will be experiencing these high winds, and the most intense wind speeds are expected throughout Thursday, not diminishing until Thursday night, but we're still going to see some very strong winds on Friday as well. So other than that, we do also have rain on the way. So heading into tomorrow, though, for the most part, we're looking at another sunny day, very warm day for most of southern and central Saskatchewan. And by the time we get into late afternoon, that's when we'll start to experience those stronger winds starting to move in. And then by Wednesday evening, we start to see little pockets of some rain coming through the southwest. And then there's a bigger system that's on the way, and it's right there. So Thursday morning, we start with a lot of heavy rain along western Saskatchewan. Heaviest rainfall expected, you'll see it on our my rainfall totals here, is in western Saskatchewan, where we could see close to 50 millimeters of rain in some areas of the west there. But that system will continue to start moving into central Saskatchewan by the afternoon, sticking around for much of the day and not clearing out until we get into Thursday night. Now, that's not the end of the strong winds, though, and yes, that is snow that you're seeing in the map there. Now, as of Friday, though, we're still looking at above zero temperatures, so a lot of that precipitation you're seeing in the form of rain or snow will be a snow-rain mix, so mostly wet snow and rain throughout most of that area coming in Friday morning. This is what we're looking at for rainfall totals between now and tomorrow morning, so you can see Maple Creek will start to see the bulk of that, along with Kindersley first thing Thursday morning, over 20 millimeters for Kindersley, 14 for Maple Creek, and then as the day moves on, we'll start to see heavier rainfall continuing throughout the west mostly. So close to 40 by Friday, not even by noon Friday. We're seeing the rain continuing again in western Saskatchewan, but we're still seeing a lot more. Saskatoon close to 20 by Friday morning, just around 7 millimeters for the Regina Moose Jaw area. And then we'll continue to see rain expected into the weekend as well. For the temperatures tomorrow, again, looking like it's going to be the warmest day for most of Saskatchewan for the next week or so. 27 for Prince Albert and Lloydminster, 21 for La Ronge, and 22 for La Loche. Saskatoon and Yorkton also expecting to get to 27 degrees, 28 for North Battleford and for Maple Creek and Swift Current, 29 for Moose Jaw tomorrow, close to 30 degrees for many parts of southern Saskatchewan. Weyburn, Estevan, Assiniboia all expecting to warm up to 28 degrees. Tonight for Regina, 5 is the expected low and warming up to 26 degrees with the winds tomorrow up to 60 kilometers an hour. But if we take a look at your next 7 days, by Thursday, winds are expected to be up to 85 kilometers an hour. Again, according to that special weather statement, the wind gusts could be up to about 110 kilometers an hour. We're expecting about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain on Thursday. By Friday, another mostly sunny day within seasonal range of 15 degrees as a high. Expecting more rain on Saturday, could be another 5 to 10 millimeters with the temperature at 12 degrees, cooling to 10 on Sunday. By Monday, warming back up to 13 degrees. And then by next Tuesday is where we should see those temperatures back into seasonal range at about 17 degrees. So it's going to be a very windy next couple of days, especially Thursday, with the mix of that rain could affect visibility, Lee. But it's just something to be very mindful of, especially if you have plants or anything out. The winds are going to be very damaging on that day.
Okay, so be careful if you're driving long distance that day.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, thank you, Speen.
You bet.
Well, during Halloween, you'll see the odd mannequin in somebody's front yard meant to scare those trick-or-treaters. But one man in Nanaimo has a mannequin on display 365 days a year. Until one day it went missing. Adam Sawatsky has the story.
Well, seeing as he likes fixing all sorts of things, Brian Neve was intrigued to find a broken mannequin at a garage sale.
Down, he was all in pieces. Yeah. I just say, well, that was kind of cool.
His wife, Terry, on the other hand, was not so sure.
Well, it's kind of out there, but...
But after Brian repaired the mannequin, Terry discovered it could be kind of fun finding outfits for him. So they named him Gunner and kept him around the house.
It would scare us because we'd forget that he was there.
So Brian put Gunner outside on the roof of his van before finding a permanent place on the fence, which proved popular with people passing.
You know, they come by and they toot their horns. It kind of makes people happy.
Gunner became a fixture in the neighborhood for almost a decade, until the day Terry woke up in the middle of the night to find the mannequin missing.
And I says, Brian, I think Gunner's gone. So he gets his pants on and goes outside and he goes, oh, he is.
And after being gone for more than a month, the mannequin was mourned by neighbors of all ages.
He said every time the little boy heard sirens, he said, is that the police looking for Gunner?
Eventually, Brian offered a $100 reward for his return, which led to a stranger sending him this picture.
That's definitely my mannequin. So had to go track him down, right?
Yeah. Brian ended up rescuing the mannequin from a town almost 3 hours away before ensuring Gunner was secured more firmly than before.
I said, yay! We were so happy.
Yeah. Until recently, when they wondered if others would be even happier if their mannequin had a mate, but the only one Brian could find had no face.
You know, she was looking pretty freaky.
So Terry asked her hairdresser to give the mannequin a makeover, and after she went above and beyond, Gunner has a girlfriend named Jillian.
It's nice to do something that makes people smile.
I guess we'll just kind of carry on doing it because people are paying attention, makes somebody happy.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Nanaimo.
Still ahead after splitting the first two games of the WHL final, the Prince Albert Raiders are hoping to feed off the crowd at the Art Hauser Center tonight for Game 3.
Your Morning Minute, brought to you by Regina Plumbing and Heating.
The summer months are right around the corner, and I am at Regina Plumbing and Heating talking all things air conditioning, and Simon is with me. Simon, what's between us?
We have here our Canadian-made Napoleon air conditioner. A fantastic unit with 10 years compressor warranty, 10 years parts, and most importantly, a 10-year labor warranty. Quiet is cool because these things are super, super quiet.
Some really great features. If someone's watching and wants to get their hands on one, how can they do that?
Just call Regina Plumbing and Heating at 306-585-2000 or email us at reginaplumbing.net.
All right, and what is this promotion?
We have a promotion on till the end of May, or what quantities last. You purchase a new Napoleon air conditioner, you get $250 off, or your choice, we'll even give you a check back for $250.
Simon, thank you so very much. You can watch Your Morning Saskatchewan weekdays 6 to 9 on CTV. You can watch it live on Crave.
Well, the scene shifts to Prince Albert tonight for Game 3 of the WHL Championship Series between the Raiders and Everett Silvertips.
Rudolph, Coots, Cripps, Coots, scores!
The Raiders split the first two games in Everett with Braden Coots leading the way offensively with a goal and 2 assists. Daxon Rudolph with 3 assists as well. The Raiders, they play well at home. They have a 7-1 record in the playoffs with just 4 regulation losses in the regular season. Game time is 7 o'clock. You can watch it on TSN 3 or 4, and you can also stream it on Victory Plus. Now, CFL announced a few rule changes for the upcoming season recommended by a group consisting of head coaches, officials, the CFLPA, and team presidents. And one of the big ones, we're not going to see ties anymore. If things remain tied after the 2 overtime mini games, the teams will have one chance to score a 2-point conversion from the 3-point line until a winner is determined. All turnovers, by the way, will also lead to an automatic review from the replay center, so don't need to challenge any of those. Announced last year, of course, you can no longer get a single point from any kick that goes out of the end zone. It must stay in the end zone and not be advanced past the goal line to score a point. You're not going to see that again where you miss it and still win a game. A kick that goes out of bounds through the end zone with no point rewarded or hits the uprights, the ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, a day soccer fans have been waiting for the big reveal of the renovated BC Place Stadium with new and real grass. The stadium's general manager says the $196 million facelift has been on time and on budget. The upgrades include 3 new elevators, a new scoreboard, updated locker rooms, and a new grass in place of the artificial turf. Has to be, because that's the way FIFA likes it for World Cup. The first of 7 games at BC Place will be on June 13th, Australia versus Turkey. Canada plays their first game in Toronto June 12th, and the World Cup starts June 11th in Mexico.
Still ahead, behind-the-scene workers at 15 Wing Moose Jaw go on strike.
Want to know what we talk about in commercial break? Which Back to the Future was the best one? 1, 2, or 3? Send in your votes now. All right, we're going to do the rural forecast now as we take a look at what's to come heading into tomorrow. Another very, very warm day. More or less, we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds. So more sunshine expected throughout the day heading into tomorrow, but the winds will start to pick up. Now, as of right now, many of these areas we're looking at not seeing those special weather statements, but for southern Saskatchewan, I'll get into that in a second, we will see some very high wind gusts. 27 degrees tomorrow for Watrous, Spiritwood, Meadow Lake, and Lloydminster. 28 for Kindersley, 29 for Outlook, 26 for Hudson Bay, Melfort, and Wynyard, 25 degrees. Closer to the southern border, also we'll start to see those higher wind gusts starting tomorrow evening and into Thursday. 29 degrees expected for Rosetown, 28 for Lear, Maple Creek, Assiniboia, and Coronach, 27 for Broadview, Carlisle, Rockland, 26 degrees for East End Cypress, Pilot Butte, Lumsden, Kenora, and I'm running out of time. Let's get right to Nacum, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Tomorrow, warming up to 25 degrees, mostly sunny conditions with the winds gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour.
The original was the best. But let us know. Email Sabine. Dragonfly delivery drivers are now on the 5th day of protesting up in Saskatoon. So a number of delivery drivers say they were fired after walking off the job after the company, which handles mostly Amazon packages, lowered wages. While these workers are not currently unionized, that didn't stop the Canadian Union of Postal Workers from joining the protest as a show of support.
We were really saddened to hear about how our friends at Dragonfly were being taken advantage of, and we have a lot of support, as you can hear, and so we wanted to come out and show support. It's completely unfair that they should be delivering parcels basically for free with no health and safety provisions.
The CTV did reach out to Dragonfly for a response and did not hear back in time. Sodexo workers are on strike at 15 Wing Moose Jaw. 35 employees that are members of the Public Service Alliance of Canada, Prairie Region, working for Sodexo have been in contract negotiations over the past year. The employees include cooks, cleaners, maintenance staff, and general help. They're asking for higher wages and a better benefits package.
You can't put thanks in the bank. They can verbally say we appreciate you, but when you can't pay us a living wage, and, we just don't, that is not a fair living wage at all, what we're getting. And a lot of us are long-term here. We have some young people coming up that are wanting to stay. We love our jobs.
Workers have been on the picket line since 5 this morning, say that they will continue to strike until they reach a deal. 15 Wing said in a statement it's working to ensure the continuity of essential services for as long as the job action continues. 4 Saskatchewan students recognized today for their leadership in agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture welcomed them to the Legislative Building to receive their agriculture student scholarships, recognizing their futures in the sector. The grand prize recipients submitted a video calling for more efforts to get young people into farming and agriculture in general.
Winning this scholarship means a great deal to me, as it shows that the young people entering this industry are being invested in and supported.
So it's really important that we engage with the youth, give them every opportunity to have that opportunity for post-secondary education and continue in the ag sector in all aspects of it.
Furthermore, along with the $6,000 grand prize, 3 other students each get $3,000 scholarships as runner-ups. All right, let's stay with the farm notes. Go to the canola street price. It's up $3.10 to $701.23 per ton, while the futures price is up $10.80 to $754.20 per ton. Amber durum wheat, $278.59 per ton. Red spring wheat is up $8.55 to $309.47 per ton. Feed barley, it stays the same, $250.88 per ton, and flax is $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and ICE Futures Canada. The markets, the TSX went up 151 points, the Dow Jones by 56 points. As for that Canadian dollar, it went down very slightly, 1/100 of a cent to 73 cents US. On the commodity front, gold down 31 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude up $4.30, while Western Canadian Select crude went up $2.82. So, has that impacted the gas? Not yet. It is currently sitting at $1.85.9 cents per liter.
We have the first tally of refunds for American tariffs. The U.S. Customs Agency says it's processed refunds plus interest totaling over $35 billion so far. When the U.S. Supreme Court deemed the U.S. president's tariffs illegal in February, exporters and retailers lined up to get their money back. It's estimated that Walmart alone is owed over $10 billion. The rate of inflation moved up last month in the U.S. The annual rate hit 3.8%, the highest it's been since May 2023. A big part of the move comes from soaring energy prices, but the cost of shelter and groceries also moved up. The price of tomatoes, which the U.S. imports, spiked 15% between March and April. You may remember Dunkin' Donuts, which left Canada about 8 years ago. A company called Foodtastic is bringing them back. They will be called Dunkin', and there are plans for hundreds of locations across the country. Foodtastic says they will start to open later this year. Dunkin' remains a big player in the U.S. coffee market with more than 14,000 locations. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, Celebrity Jeopardy, followed by Match Game and 3 Big Bang Theories. No RJ Decker, Sabine.
For those at home who wonder, we place bets on what's going to be coming up on that.
I don't gamble. U.S. coffee chain Dunkin' is heading back to Canada.
Yeah, Canadian restaurant operator Foodtastic says it has signed a master franchising agreement with Dunkin' owner Inspire Brands to open hundreds of locations across the country. Foodtastic, which also runs Second Cup, Milestones, and Freshie, says its first Dunkin' will debut in late 2026 or early 2027. Dunkin' once had hundreds of Canadian locations, but it departed in 2018.
It actually departed?
Departed.
Went to a Dunkin's when I was in Boston.
And?
Don't care.
Oh.
Not impressed.
I don't mind it. Very sweet. That the coffee's fine, but like their drinks, like the mix, it's very sweet.
They had another coffee shop that was way better, but I forget what it was called.
Couldn't have been that great. A smash and grab and attempted arson at a Michigan cannabis shop went sideways when the suspects accidentally sparked up themselves, and it was all caught on tape.
Surveillance video. So here we go.
Oh.
Jeep
wow.
rams through the storefront. Got your entrance. One suspect grabs product while the other pours gasoline over the store for some reason. The shop's owner describes what next as amateur hour. As they try to ignite the gasoline, as you would if you're doing that, one of the suspects lights himself on fire. They fled the scene with their shoes still on fire. Sprinklers got rid of the flames in the shop, actually. Not a lot of damage. Opened up the same day without issue. So, another one where robbers just didn't get it right.
What? What? There's so many questions.
There's a lot of questions. Hey, the Habs are playing. The
Go Habs!
What's the score, Alex?
2-2. Woohoo, Habs!
2-2 right now. I think Alex is hoping for overtime.
Are you? No, he's not.